everybody. So, I recently, a few days ago, finished a visual novel called Bad End, which is a visual novel about a visual novel. And that concept in itself was so interesting that it actually got me to buy it and play it because it was. I think it might not. It's probably not unique though, but it's still. Like, it's not a unique idea, I think, because it's so obvious. However, the way that they approached to it was something that I really want to talk about. Now let's get this just immediately out there. I don't think it's a good game. I really don't think that it is good. Like, the story is cliche, the gameplay is really standard visual novel clutch, but the translation for English is just absolutely abhorrent. Okay, not that. It's not that bad. It's passable. But the reason I want to talk about it is because it had a really freaking cool premise, and that is that it is a guy playing about a visual novel that kills people in real life. And the visual novel, and yeah, this is gonna be spoilers just like through the roof. So if you want to play it, I mean, it's just $2, so it's not too much, but you know, it is flawed, really flawed. So just be aware of that. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about it is because there are some really like I'm a big proponent of alien horror, cosmic horror, that sort of thing. I really have loved Lovecraftian stories for basically ever since I was a little kid, and there are aspects to this story that I feel have some elements of just, frankly speaking, really good cosmic horror to them. Um, and that's why I am kind of sad to say that it is not a good game because it had a lot of potential. And there are a few moments of actual, genuine cosmic horror. Like, there was a few glimpses of actual cosmic horror there, of some sort of very self-aware, where the game itself was not addressing the characters, but rather it was addressing you, or rather me, as a player. And that was not exactly spine tingling. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't horrifying, but it was like, oh, this is what I love about horror games. It had a moment of that where it felt like it was addressing me, and that was the basically one of the endings that it had, a so-called all your struggles were in vain, in which I just love the ending line there, which was bad end is a visual novel. Like, the antagonist said, bad end is a visual novel with no happy endings. And that was a genuine moment of actual cosmic horror that I absolutely adored. Because up until that point, every single mistake, like, unless you played it perfectly, you were bound to get like it played on the tropes that it actually had so many, like, every single wrong decision will eventually lead to a bad end unless you make every right decision. And I loved that. I love the fact that it had so much self-awareness about the tropes of it genre, and just in general a lot of the bad aspects of visual novels, such as random choice, and that's absolutely wonderful. However, I'm praising it a lot because I have far more of complaints about it, and that is the actual good ending, and that the fact that there is a good ending to the story, a good end, is why I don't like it. If it had that, if its true ending was a stark realization of just coming to terms with a game that was designed to not have a good ending to it, and give the player a fair sense of bad end, that would have been amazing. It would have been a really freaking great game at that point. If it if its real ending was the realization that there is only a bad end. That would have been really freaking great. And as such, the fact that it even brought this concept to my mind is something that I really admire about the game, and that's the reason I wanted to talk about it, because that was such a freaking great moment. The fact that it gave me, for a second, gave me a genuine experience that I love was worth the few hours that it took to complete the game. And I don't regret supporting the game because it really feels like it had genuine heart behind it. The game actually, like the visual novel inside the game, is based on the character's actual real world, and that was the first moment of, oh, this is the this is this could be fourth wall breaking commentary, and that was really of that there was already a moment worth the investment. So yeah. Now I don't think it's still like it had a lot of hope. I haven't had a lot of hope for it. So it's a shame that it really fell short with the fun one ending. Like it's unfortunate. It feels like there was a lot of missed potential in this game. On the other side of as things, I actually think that the fact that they recycled art, while it might seem cheap that they recycled backgrounds, the fact that the character realized, oh my god, this is the exact scene that I had in the visual novel. Those moments are just really, really good. Really freaking good self-aware moments of genuine creep. Well, it's not even that like it never comes close to any horror, but it's still God. I want to praise the game for at the very least trying and getting almost close to this. I would love to have a game of actual genuine alien horror, and so far this is the game that has come closest to it. Unfortunately, it also ruined it, but yeah. Alright, okay, well, maybe I have no mouth and I must scream game closer, but still. No, that actually still had a good ending, which is unfortunate. But it actually does resemble the twist here of this game as well, that there is actually a good end. And that's really, I feel like, misses the mark here. The game had had only bad ends, that would have been perfect. It would have felt unsatisfying, unfulfilling, but it could have made for really, really good commentary about the whole genre of visual novels. But the game still had genuine heart behind it, so I just want to bring it to a bit more attention. After all, it's rather cheap, and if you want to, like, it isn't abhorrent. While the story really does, it is really cliche, and unfortunately plays into the worst tropes of the genre, it also has some moments of self awareness to it that really do make it worth it. So, there's that. And and the sound design also, like the music in the game is also like for $2, like I would pay more for like the soundtrack. It's not bad. It's like just supported quite well. Although there are quite a lot of moments of just silence there. Yeah. So do I recommend the game? Uh, Maybe if you're interested in the visual novels and want to see some kind of moments of self-awareness in some, yes, I do for some people, but it's a very tentative. It's really, shall we say, there's a lot of asterisks behind that recommendation. The game is really flawed, but it has genuine heart behind it, and it has a really good premise behind it, and I would love to see a better execution of this story, and perhaps a bit of revamping because it had a good message behind it. And it's interesting how a visual novel could be portraying a moment of abstract conceptual horror, such as cosmic horror, so well, whereas no other game, no other like the fact that visual novel could have done that, where it's so visual novels are very binary in gameplay terms, and it's really unlikely that they can ever convey a good sense of control throughout their gameplay. And that's perhaps why Cosmic Horror would be the best suited for a visual novel where your genuine lack of control is tangible, where you can feel it. It's a shame that this game missed the mark, but it has potential. It had potential. It had a good idea. And I hope that at the very least other developers will notice the game and pick up on this idea and just execute it better. Yeah. Thank you all very much for watching. Ganmu out. Have a great day. Stay awesome.